Hey everyone, today I'm going to walk you through how you can use Eluvium to streamline your procurement. Now let's go through and create an RFQ through Eluvium. So we can go ahead and click on request over here on the left and then click new request. And let's say we are procuring corrugated cardboard packaging. Corrugated cardboard, cardboard packaging for temperature sensors, about 15 kilo load, temperature sensors for appliances. Okay. Let's go ahead and send that over to Ellie, the AI, right? So the important part about creating an RFQ is the RFQ specifications. RFQ is only going to be as good as the specifications written. If they're poorly written, that means that the suppliers will be misquoting. They'll be asking a lot of follow-on questions. That's going to slow down your procurement process. But specifications, well, they're messy, they're dirty, and they're hard to document. So you might have specifications that's sitting in an email thread from a sourcing event a couple of months ago or even a couple of years ago, or sitting in a PDF on a drive somewhere, which you kind of lost track, right? That kind of stuff happens all the time. Or you get a request from an internal stakeholder, and frankly, they don't know what the specifications are. So it makes your job harder. You have to go out there and do research, and again, that slows down the procurement cycles, right? So having an AI tool like Ellie can really help you here. She'll help you research and clarify the RFQ specifications, write down as good and as clear of specifications as possible before you even send that out to the supplier. So let's see what she asked to clarify here. What are the required internal dimensions, length, width, height of the packaging to ensure the sensors fit securely? Well, good question. I didn't tell her that. So 400 centimeters by 300 centimeters by 500 centimeters. Okay. What is the estimated quantity for the initial production run? So I think we're sourcing for a new supplier, so we need minimal units. Let's say 2,000 to 5,000. Given the 15 load capacity, do you have a preference for the corrugated cardboard strength, single or double wall? Yes, I think double wall will be better here. And do you require protective inserts to secure? Yes, very good catch. Yes, actually I do. I need dividers here. Okay. And does the packaging require custom printing or branding? We do require our logos to be printed, so single color branding here. All right, so let's go ahead and send that as follow-up clarifications for Ellie. And she came back with some more questions given the initial ones we sent her. To ensure packaging meets durability or cost requirements, which strength measurement standard do you prefer? ECT, Mullen burst test, no preference. We do want edge crushed. What flute profile would you like for the double wall construction? I think standard balance of strength and cushioning for 15 kilo loads. BC flute, I think it would be great, best. What type of liner board materials required for your supply chain environment? Do we want craft? Do we want recycled? Or no preference? We don't really have a preference here, so let's let the supplier recommend. Do you have a specific FEFCO style code in mind, or should the design be standard regular slotted containers? Standard. Are there any specific functional coatings or sustainability certification required for these sensors? Um, so let's put in FSC certification. And what is the desired delivery timeline shipping destination? So we want it to be by July 30th. And this is going to our manufacturing plant in Istanbul, Turkey. All right, so let's go ahead and send that over to Ellie. Great. So she thinks that our RFQ is ready now to be sent. So let me show you a couple of functionalities going on behind the scenes. So again, I talked about how important having good specifications are. So if you do have specifications documentation, specifications library, we can load that up into the system so Ellie can be smarter about your specifications. If you don't, Ellie will use whatever tools she has at her disposal. So in this case, she actually did a web search. A deep search on the internet trying to understand for the category you're procuring what are the important criterias, right? So she was able to understand that to be a bit better able to fine tune the specifications with you. Okay, so the other features you'll see here, let me walk quickly on the right side here. So on the right side, we can add different users with different user roles to the system. So for example, we can configure the system for the internal stakeholders, right? So the operations team, the marketing team, the engineering team, they can actually use Ellie to put in their purchase requests, which then will be fine-tuned with them to generate the right specifications to be then sent over to the procurement team or the finance team for final approval. So you can add different stakeholders here over on the signees. You can add them over to chat here so you can clarify needs with them, approval processes with them, and so on. And then we have an audit timeline here, right? So you can see what is happening with the RFQ. And over on the left here are different functionalities for the RFQ process, which I'll walk you through later on. Okay, so let us go ahead and send the request out. So you'll notice that Ellie has drafted the RFQ for us with the technical requirements, the quantity, delivery timeline, shipping destination, and we can also send the RFQ out in multiple languages, right? Because our suppliers may be all over the world. Maybe they don't speak English. English is not their first language. Maybe we want to be able to send it in their native language, Turkish or German or French, etc. Right? So again, AI has no problems operating in multiple languages. So it's really great for global supply chains. Okay, so let's go ahead and click next. And now Ellie is cleaning up the RFQ, getting rid of unnecessary language, fine-tuning the RFQ to make it more succinct, more supplier ready. So now we have a very well-written RFQ. So let's click next here. Okay. Now we're ready to send to your suppliers. And you've worked with some suppliers. Some suppliers are great. There's great performance from them. You've had great email exchanges. You know their capabilities. But hey, guess what? That information is in an email thread again, or in a spreadsheet somewhere, or sitting inside the head of one of the procurement team members who is on leave for this week, right? So there's a lot of information about suppliers and their capabilities that is not well structured, not very well accessible. So the great thing about running an RFQ through Eluvium is Eluvium remembers, Eluvium learns from your past RFQs what suppliers are capable of what. And here we have some dummy accounts here, but we ran some past RFQs in the test with these dummy accounts, and the AI suggests based off of 4 search criteria, which is 1, that it's a double wall BC flute RSC packaging certification, right? 2 and 3 corrugated cardboard packaging suppliers near our factory in Istanbul, Turkey, and that it can have custom printing and dividers, right? Pretty important search criteria. So using those criteria, the AI has suggested a couple matches from our supplier database, and the strongest match, we can see that based off the past experience, they match really well in these 3 categories. And in fact, the AI has learned a bunch of more supplier performance and supplier capabilities that it remembers and lists down here for you. Okay, so we'll select one. This is my personal email here, and we'll send this out to this supplier. All right, and your first RFQ has been sent. Right. So now the RFQ has been sent, you can track the status of the RFQ, and you can chat directly here with the supplier. We'll see in a bit what the supplier side of things look like, but you can chat directly with the supplier here, right? Now, let's say that you're creating an RFQ, your engineering team has already sent you a bill of materials or RFQ specification, and you just want to do something quick. Well, you can certainly upload documents, files here for Ellie, right? So here's a sample spreadsheet of different corrugated cardboard packaging we need for different factories around Turkey with annual volumes, right? Again, not very well written, but we can certainly dump this in and see what Ellie makes of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and dump this in here to get Ellie started. Okay, so Ellie is uploading the file, reading the file, and let's give it a bit of time as it processes this file. So Ellie has read the file, extracted the information and tried to write the best RFQ it could from it, but it has some missing information it's going to require from you, right? And just as a reminder, what did the file look like? Just a regular standard spreadsheet, a table. A table someone on the in the operations warehouse team, they gave us this. We need to do something with it. Okay, so I'm gonna add this to the request. I can also share this to the supplier. Sure, I confirm, and we're gonna create an RFQ from this. So Ellie is reviewing again, checking the RFQ writing, making it more succinct, more supplier ready, and then we can go ahead and send this out. Okay. So there are some outstanding information. Now we are going to start to fill in with Ellie. Okay. So regarding the printing, what kind of printing do we want? All right. We want one color. Can you confirm the dimensions for this one particular SKU? The 0.5 is a thickness for a flat sheet or a typo? What did I try to write? Good catch. It must have been a typo. So yeah, no, that makes sense. That was the thickness for a flat sheet. That makes sense. Do you have target delivery date? Let's put July 30th again. Specific window for when those annual volumes are required. Monthly. Let's divide annual volumes into monthly deliveries starting on July 30th. What are the preferred Incoterms? Xworks. Okay. Okay. So now again, we filled in the missing information, and Ellie thinks that our RFQ is ready to be sent out. Okay.